G'day guys, welcome to this weekly developer update. Once again, I'm joined by Joe. How are you, mate?
Doing pretty well. Life's good.
Yeah, once again, just running through this weekly developer update in Discord. Never ceases to amaze me how detailed these responses are and the progress that happens week to week. It's pretty amazing.
It's getting scary, man. Pretty soon we're going to be here all week.
Oh, that's a good position to be in, I think. But yeah, it's definitely getting more difficult to try and keep a finger on what's happening throughout the ecosystem. One thing I'd like to highlight is basically one of the updates in here is this consolidation of EIPs and the core group getting together, or even in the community guys getting together and talking about the EIPs and making some sort of finalizations and resolutions on that front.
Yeah, I think it would be good for us to create a separate developer channel that's EIP specific and get together on a regular basis to discuss, the best way to implement some potential updates, changes, standards. So yeah, I think that would certainly make us a little bit more efficient. I know there's a little bit of cleanup to do on that front, and yeah, people just get buried. Yeah. That's the only way to put it. So yeah, having some organization and regular talks, potentially getting people in there tagging, Alex, Morphic, the entire core dev team to review, read through, post feedback. I think that would accelerate things quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. And that's probably a good point to make also, that you don't have to be part of the core team to put an EIP together. They are proposal. The public can put that together. You just have to do a little bit of research and start the discussion on a topic and just gain some traction. Obviously, everything starts from an idea, and obviously not everyone can keep their finger on the pulse across everything in the ecosystem, and someone could have a bright idea and yeah, it can benefit everyone in the ecosystem.
Definitely. So let's put it together. Let's make it happen.
Yep, no drama. Sounds like a plan. All right, let's jump into this developer update. So kicking things off, we have greenhat. You take that one, mate.
Sure. So it looks like the Sigma Rust team has progressed. They published a new Ergo lib version 0.21.0 with prover fixer from Sigma Rust. Looks like there are some guides that have been written for all Oracle operations except for voting and updating the pool. Successfully tested transfer the Oracle token to a new operator without interrupting the pool. Successfully tested extraction of the reward tokens from the Oracle box. Looks like a work in progress is to revamp the box register value access to allow parsing of the box with invalid register value. That's for Rosen bridge. Looks like next is to test voting and updating the running Oracle pool. After that, version 2.0 alpha milestone will be completed, and the Sigma Rust team will be starting the next stage, which is version 2.0 beta open testing on testnet, when that means that it's time to start the discussion, in terms of getting Oracle pool operators on board and testing that framework. Looks like the current progress towards the release is tracked on the roadmap. Those of you that don't want to participate on testnet but want to follow along, click that link and you'll see where we are.
Yeah, it's a pretty substantial one, this one, and one that I've been following for, upwards of 6 months now. Just seeing that open development there of the Oracle framework and everything else alongside that.
Yep, that's pretty big.
So next up we have Apextheory, just a short update. So he created a PR for 1822. So that's per peer transaction rules. Kushti, just please review at your convenience. And here we have Alex as well. I'll just follow on. So the protocol and reference client 5.0.1 has been released. Reviewed PRs for 5.0.2. So 5.0.2 is finalized and merged into the master and going to release it. And I think at this stage it was released a day ago. So then now it's just reviewing PRs for 5.0.3. And so not writing any new code for the last couple of days, basically only doing reviews. So he's updated some exchanges on the ergo.wallet.profile setting available since 4.0.105 and going to update integration doc into the repos wiki. And then on other matters, the Ergo hack submission judgment, he's taken a little bit of time out to dig through all those proposals, the presentations, white papers, and implementations, discussing contract testing and off-chain part development for the DEXI. So we just reviewed the PR. Also reviewed a new version of the Babel fees PR, which is approved. Discussing DEXI with Scala Hub and testing matching transactions for the decentralized grid framework that he's put together. And next we have a non-BR.
All right, so it looks like on his side, updated the Babel fees PR and pushed some small fixes on the contract. I made some changes on sigmajs-crypto-facade in order to get EC tests passed on sigma.js, and updated ledger-ergo-js to use Fleet SDK in place of ErgoTS for address serialization.
Nice one. And next we have pragmaxim. So it's been going through all the open node PRs. So we've resolved some conflicts and cleaned up and tested again for those so they don't get stale. Fixed a bug that when wallet is initialized, so it's either created or restored, it's not automatically unlocked. So that's probably a good thing. Just Kushti mentioning that he has 5 or 6 PRs to review. Just tagged a number of people there. And next we have Chris from curbsideprophet.
Yep, it looks like Azorus has launched and released a closed alpha version last month. The product demo video has been posted on YouTube, so if you're interested, click that link. Over the next few weeks, they're going to be rolling out the product testing cohorts. 1 is early supporters, 2 is the target audience, and 3 is the general population. Looks like the platform streams blockchain data for Ergo and Nervos network, with Alphium and Spectrum DEX expected to ship next. They've been laying the foundation for their database operator program by collaborating with ABC Chris from ErgoWatch to onboard their backend infrastructure. Early drafts on starting database bounties initiative with a focus on blockchain Web3 data sets and use cases. And so he's putting it out there. If you're familiar with SQL, if you're interested in data visualization, if you're interested in maintaining a unique data set, get in touch. So hop on to Discord or Telegram and hit up curbsideprophet.
Yeah, it's definitely something I'm looking forward to is seeing all these analytics services come together and being able to dive down and have a visual representation of all the data sets. So it's pretty interesting to see sort of what's happening on that side.
Yeah.
Next, we have MrStahlfelge. So on the wallet app, he completed Ergo auth support for the cold wallets. As version 2.2 review did not start, he's added that to the PR so that it comes in the next version. ErgoPay, he's drafted another enhancement to support multiple addresses at once. Anyone interested in this feature might want to check the ERP and provide some feedback best before the implementation is started, which will happen soon. Then on to Appkit, made smaller improvements based on feedback provided by MGPy. So it's already emerged in the snapshot, tracked the cause of the issue, so 199 found by Louis, implemented a fix for 182, merged in the snapshot, and implemented ERP31 support, and drafted and waiting for other PRs to resolve. Then on other topics, just mentioning the ERPs like we did last in the intro. So wanting to resolve some of the EIPs. I think we can do some more, and need someone to implement Nipper powers in Ergo Wallet so that it's usable from the Appkit and available to clients. And next we have Luivatra.
So it looks like Luivatra has an update on Paideia. They've converted the staking setup to the new off-code infrastructure. They ran into some bugs while doing that, and it took a little longer than initially expected, but it looks like they wrapped it up today, which was Wednesday. Started working on the voting proposals and action system. In Paideia, to be able to vote or create proposals, the user needs to create a vote key. This is done with their stake key. When a user votes, the staking box is used as a data input as the proof of maximum voting power the user has. The user's stake key will be locked until any proposals they have voted on have passed their time limit. This way, users' tokens will be locked during the voting period, but still gain the benefit of being staked for those DAOs that have staking emissions and or profit sharing. Front-end fixes are coming along nicely, working through the issues found during the first test phase. And on ErgoPad, it looks like they've improved the behind-the-scenes process around bootstrapping IDOs to prevent manual errors. They added a user-defined limit to staker rounds to try and avoid ErgoPad whales from getting more whitelist tokens than they want to contribute, leaving some project tokens unsold.
Another substantial update. And next up, we have Morphic. So there's not much to report on his side for this week. He's continuing work on sigma.js and related Sigma code base, reorganization and refactoring. And then on Sigma itself, finished cross-compilation of the Ergo tree serialization tests. I reported one platform with sigmajs-crypto-facade. He's done some basic tests for the crypto facade and now passed both onto the JVM and JS. And then on the Appkit, reviewed PRs by MrStahlfelge. So there's a number there that have been listed. Miscellaneous, just continuing discussions in Discord. And next up, we'll publish the sigma.js on npm.js.
All right.
Next, we have Glasgow.
All right, so it looks like Glasgow has implemented a decision tree navigation structure with the intent to help new devs find their way about the ecosystem with the help from others in education. He dropped a link there. He's still tidying some and has some links that need to be added to the build section, and then we'll start on the mining section and work his way back up. So a lot of document organization going on there.
Yeah, it's important to note actually the work that Glasgow's put in there, where he's had to actually troll multiple sort of different platforms and search for a number of different resources and things. And he's actually compiled all that into one sort of resource. And he's at the stage now where he's compiling all that together into sort of more structured, readable and usable information. And a lot of time and effort's gone into that. So thanks very much, Glasgow.
Yeah, it's huge.
Next up, we have LowKeyNerd, BlitzTCG. So they've integrated the Blitz game client with the Ergo blockchain, ran a few different timing benchmarks against a wallet with 4,000 different tokens. So the Aneta API was able to retrieve the data in 560 milliseconds, so half a second, whereas the standard Ergo API was about 1.15 seconds. The time includes passing and storage of that data, so useful work. Pretty interesting. Integrated the Blitz game client with a Cardano blockchain. So albeit there's a little bit of cleanup to do to pass the wallet correctly. Just using some Chaos APIs right now, and we'll try some Block Frost. And a reminder that if you can now create accounts on blitztcg.com and link your Ergo wallets to test it out. So far, about 50 users or so have signed up for that service. So it's pretty cool considering that there's no game yet. If you're interested, jump on there. And next we have ErgoDesign and Ergcube.
All right, so it looks like Ergcube has finished their front-end UI. They have an index, which is an overview of the ecosystem, a dApps page, which dApps can show details about their project, native token, and social channels. NFTs, where artists can showcase a small landing page for their art and their social media links. Looks like he's also got a tool tab. Tokens with live price and swap buttons to trade on Spectrum. Looks like we've got wallets, pools, get block subpools, videos. Looks like ads added to the videos where community projects can advertise and showcase their upcoming projects. Most of the indexed items are hyperlinked to the dedicated dApps, working on the full story layouts now. Awesome.
Yeah, nice little community resource there. Just sort of accumulating all the information, different videos and blogs and podcasts, numerous projects throughout the ecosystem, and just having on one spot. And next we have Captain Nemo. So Nemo is preparing the groundwork to add a new version of Babel fees contract on Fleet and Nautilus. And next week we focus on Babel fee implementation and possibly a closed beta test on Nautilus. So version 0.6.4 has been released, replaced Ergo TS dependency by Fleet for address serialization, and updated Sigma Rust to version 0.21. And then on the dApp connector, added get current height method. So the last missing piece to build and send transactions without the need to directly interact with the Explorer or GraphQL, and added a bundle-sized optimizations. And now the entire wallet is delivered in a package of about 2.6 megabytes. And then on Fleet, version 0.1.0 Alpha 6 has been released. Added really basic constant serialization set. So cold, byte, int, long, short, unit, and bool. Full serialization will be added when sigma.js is complete. And then on the ErgoGraphql side, 0.4.2 has been released and reviewed PRs from SEPA. Screenshot there from ErgoDesign on Ergcube. Next, we have an anticipated update from MHS Sam.
All right. So on Rosen Bridge, Sam was under the weather for a bit recently. So that slowed things just a little bit. Looks like they've encountered a few bugs during the launch process, but almost all of them are fixed as of Wednesday. Very close to being live. He expects it tomorrow, which would be Thursday, today, when we're filming this anyway. And looks like he can't promise that, however, because it's work in progress, right? But it's nice to see that getting close. Then we have an update on a new thing he's playing with, a staking solution called ErgoWell. And it's a project meant to be used for investing in ventures trying to raise money through crowdfunding. As an investor, you can search and find projects that are attractive to you, invest in them, and receive interests and rewards. As a venture owner, you can raise money for your project through crowdfunding. That's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, very interesting concept, and it's one that kind of just dropped on the community. I think it was just a couple of weeks ago now.
Yeah.
And next we have QX and ErgoPort. So first up, created a universal clean text feed in US dollars for anyone to use for their site or bots for Spectrum Ergo price data. Just put the exact name of the token in without any spaces at the end of the URL, and it'll output only the price of that token. So ergs used in the example with the link provided below. Happy to make a JSON output for this as well if anyone needs it. And then working on a voting mechanism for the Sigmanauts. So users will go to a site, enter a topic they would like the SIGs to vote on, and the site will then push the vote notifications to many different protocols. So platforms, Discord, Telegram, Twitter, etc., and notify all the Sigmanauts to vote. So the vote will be closed after thresholds are met and time has expired, and the vote creators can push reminders to people who haven't voted. Kind of decentralizes things, which is pretty interesting. made specific API feeds for ErgoDesign and another BTC, and also created new token for distribution during the daily questions that he's been putting together. And this is a nice thing, like he's taken the initiative to put a couple of quiz questions throughout the day, keep people engaged. So it's throughout the Ergo platform channels. He's added some liquidity to it on Spectrum so that people who are rewarded, so people getting the correct answers can cash it out if they like, and just waiting for Nemo to approve the icon push before you can start using it. So the icon's already pushed to the Spectrum and added to the tipper bot. And the list of the vote page shown below. Okay, scrolling through. Next up, we have Koutelier.
All right, so it looks like Comet is doing something. It's been a while. Comet's update is they have the lottery coming out end of week. The dev has been working on the back end at the moment. Contracts are ready, and they're going to open source the contracts before the launch. Nice to see that.
Yep.
They also have an update on a project they're putting together called Emporas. As most of you know, we are almost ready to launch Emporas, a multi-vendor shop. This will be a centralized shop that will accept crypto payments. The purpose of Emporas is to spread awareness about Ergo and Ergo projects. We'll plan to create an affiliate program for influencers and YouTubers as well. So if you run a project and you want to sell merchandise, please reach out for further discussions. And it looks like they're targeting the launch in 2.5 weeks.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool tool, this. I'm sent out a tweet to those guys this morning in my time, just asking when I can get some cool Ergo swag. So if you want to put a shop together, I'm more than happy to sort of purchase some swag from anyone who does that. And next we have WMC Clinton on the another BTC update. So it's continued work on chain SPV verification and relaying smart contract development needed for the interlay style wrapping. Continued setting up the original Rosen bridge code base for the Erg-Ada bridge. Finished a plan for the Rosen bridge style layer 2 authentication system to increase security on the BTC relay. Finished eBTC wrapping protocol and smart contracts. Added the Ergo platform APIs for transaction verification to the server to confirm payments, and fixed minor changes on the wrapping UI with decimal places and conversions. Nice to see some progress there.
Nice.
Next we have Kras and duck pools.
All right, so duck pools, it looks like they have some UI updates for the beta launch. The collateral to loan ratio icons, a clearer APY and loan interest rates. Liquidation spend path is functional, but some additional testing would be good before the beta. And they've switched most of the API calls to their local Explorer instance on the front end.
Nice one.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to see that sort of collateralized lending platform come to Ergo. It's just a different type of DeFi that we'll see on the network itself.
Definitely.
Next up, we have Ilya from Spectrum. So on the network side, the Sync API has been implemented for the internal messaging passing interface. They call it Message Sync, which allows to pass network messages from the protocol handlers directly to the peer connection handlers. Slow peer handling when received buffer is exhausted. The protocol handler has been implemented, and that's a layer that facilitates messaging transmission from the protocol handlers to the peers. Protocol behavior framework. So it's a framework that allows to implement mini P2P protocols without boilerplate, and simple sync protocol behavior for the integration test, which is a work in progress. And then on Spectrum Analytics, due to the increased load on the Ergo Analytics backend, they've scaled the services for more stable operation, and the Spectrum off-chain services, they're adding support for proxy contracts, V2, They allow sending rewards for pay to script addresses, and as well as pay to public key. So thus opening the way for composability with other contracts. Then the Spectrum app itself, lots of redesign fixes that they'll cover in future updates.
Awesome.
And next we have MGPy.
All right, so it looks like MGPy has been working on the Comet lottery contracts that will be open sourced at Comet's discretion, and are working on the Scala off-chain bot for that. With Ergo Sapiens, it looks like that's been put on ice until the Lotto contracts are done. With Ergo Names, looks like working on a pricing API, working on name blacklists, and looking into front-running mitigation, and is asking for some insight on front-running mitigation. So anybody out there that has an opinion or could give some insight, please let them know.
I can think of a number of people off the top of my head that could contribute to the blacklist. Be some pretty interesting things to be put forward there. Okay, next we have Haley PDLL and BlobsTopia. So they've worked on the contracts to include the PvE event, Blobinator. And as it's now finally working, the work on the contract's almost done. A new screen for the Blobinator related actions and several UI improvements are ongoing. And a closed beta will start soon. I like that, the Blobinator.
Blobinator.
Okay, next up we have ABC Chris.
All right, so it looks like ABC Chris has released ErgoWatch version 0.5. That includes real-time metrics, address counts, supply age, supply composition, supply distribution, 24-hour transactions and transfer volume, also smoothed over 1 or 4 weeks. The metrics can now distinguish normal contracts from minor contracts. It tracks 6 exchanges. TradeOgre and Hobie have been added. And address level supply age, mean time of origin of erg on any address.
It's one website that I always constantly jump on there. I'll at least visit it once or twice a day. Just keep an eye on sort of things and just look at different metrics. So I think it's an invaluable resource for the community.
If you want a bird's eye view, that's the place to be, at least until we see what happens with Azorus, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. There's a post here from Kushti just for the release of 5.0.2. And finally, we have Pulsars and the SigmaExplorer update. So it's added asset lists to the explore page, the address page, sorry. Added basic token page that'll also show IPFS NFT images. There's the address lookup. It's broken currently because of changes in recent GraphQL releases, and it was fixed today in version 0.4.2. So please update the GraphQL instances if possible. Just working on setting up a testnet instance. Just tagging Ilya from Spectrum there. So the testnet GraphQL instance is missing the Ergo node address. So if possible, please correct that. Okay, that's the end of the weekly developer update for this week. What sort of piqued your interest there, mate?
There's a lot. I'm pretty excited to see what Ilya is doing with Spectrum. I'm really excited as well to see ErgoWatch get an update and have new data analytics come online. And, it's time to start the conversation in terms of Oracle pools. That's been a long time coming.
Yeah, most definitely. It still continues to be my favorite time of the week, actually, is jumping in here and reading through these developer updates, because that we always receive significant updates. It's not just a little vanity update here and there from some sort of a little project that's unknown in the ecosystem. They're all pretty substantial, and if you are working in the ecosystem, by all means, jump in here and provide these updates. The community loves to jump up and loves to tune in and listen to them. So thanks very much for everyone for contributing.
Yeah, it's nice to see that development, even though markets are markets at the moment.
Very true. Markets will be markets, and it's good to see everyone just forging ahead on the development front.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure chatting once again, Joe. Thanks everyone for tuning in for this weekly developer update. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Have a good one, everyone.
Take care.